The sound of champagne glasses clinking and birthday wishes echoing through my home should have filled me with joy. Instead, I stood frozen in the doorway of my kitchen, straining to hear the whispered conversation coming from the garden. "We can't keep doing this," my sister Lisa's voice carried through the open window. "She's going to find out." "Just a little longer," Jesse, my husband of 12 years, whispered back. "I promise we'll figure something out." I'm Reagan, and this is the moment my perfectly curated life began to crack. At 38, I'd built everything I'd ever dreamed of: a thriving business consulting firm, our dream house overlooking the bay, and what I thought was an unshakable family bond. "Reagan!" Michaela's voice snapped me back to reality. "The caterers need your approval on the appetizer arrangement." I plastered on my best entrepreneur smile, the same one I'd used to close million-dollar deals. "Coming." The party preparations for Lisa's 30th birthday were in full swing. I'd spent weeks planning every detail, from the hand-painted place cards to the specially imported flowers, Lisa's favorites. "You've outdone yourself," Wallace said, appearing beside me with a glass of wine. "Though you seem distracted today?" "Just tired from all the planning," I lied, accepting the drink. "Have you seen Jesse? He was supposed to help with the lighting setup." Wallace's expression shifted slightly. "He and Lisa were checking the garden arrangements last I saw." Of course they were. I moved through my house, greeting early arrivals and directing staff, all while my mind raced. The signs had been there: Jesse's late nights at the office, Lisa's sudden interest in my work schedule, the way they both jumped when I entered rooms. "There's my beautiful wife," Jesse announced, wrapping an arm around my waist. He smelled of Lisa's signature perfume. "Everything looks amazing." I leaned into his embrace, feeling the wedding ring on his finger press against my hip. "Thanks, honey. Lisa seems happy with everything." "She is." Lisa bounded over, her eyes bright but not quite meeting mine. "You're the best sister anyone could ask for." I watched them carefully, noting how they maintained a calculated distance from each other, how their eyes never quite connected in front of me. My sister, 8 years younger, had always been the family firecracker. Impulsive, creative, free-spirited. I'd protected her, supported her dreams, helped her through every crisis. "We should take a family photo," I suggested, pulling out my phone. "The three of us, just like old times." They couldn't refuse. As I positioned them together, I caught the flash of guilt in their eyes, the slight tremor in Lisa's smile. The photo would make excellent evidence later. "Perfect shot," I said, lowering the phone. "This is going to be a birthday party no one will forget." "You need concrete evidence before making any moves," Michaela said, sliding a coffee across my office desk 3 days after the party. "Suspicion isn't enough." "I know what I heard," I replied, pulling up the banking app on my laptop. "And look at this. Jesse's been making regular withdrawals, always on Thursdays. Lisa's art gallery opens on Thursdays." Wallace leaned over my shoulder, frowning at the screen. "That could be anything, Reagan. Don't jump to conclusions." "Then explain this." I opened my email, showing them the notification from our home security system. Every Thursday afternoon, while I'm at board meetings, someone uses Jesse's key code to enter our house. The cameras mysteriously go offline for exactly 2 hours each time. Michaela's coffee cup froze halfway to her mouth. "Oh God. I need to be smart about this," I said, closing my laptop. "Which is why I'm meeting Lawrence this afternoon." "The lawyer?" Wallace raised an eyebrow. "Are you sure you want to go that route?" My phone buzzed. A text from Jesse. "Working late tonight, don't wait up." "Right on schedule." "Watch this," I said, dialing Lisa's number on speakerphone. "Hey, sis." Her voice was artificially bright. "Can't talk long, got a client meeting." "No problem, just wanted to check if we're still on for dinner tonight." "Oh, I can't. The gallery's super busy. Rain check?" I ended the call, looking at my friends. "She doesn't have client meetings on Thursdays. Never has." "What are you going to do?" Michaela asked softly. "First, I'm going to visit Lisa's gallery. Then I'm meeting Lawrence." The gallery was closed when I arrived, a handwritten "back in 2 hours" sign on the door. I circled to the back alley, where Lisa's car sat parked next to a familiar vehicle, Jesse's black Mercedes. I took photos, my hands steady despite the rage building inside me. Then I drove to Lawrence's office, where he was waiting with a stack of papers. "The house is in both your names," he said, reviewing the documents. "But given that your business funded the purchase and renovations—" "I want full ownership," I interrupted, quietly, without alerting Jesse. Lawrence nodded slowly. There's a way. Your prenup includes a clause about infidelity. With evidence, we can transfer the property solely to you. He'd have no legal recourse. How long? Give me a week. Gather more evidence. And Reagan? He looked at me seriously. Once we start this, there's no going back. I thought of the whispered conversations, the lies, the betrayal from the two people I trusted most. Good, I said, pulling out my phone to show him the photos, because I'm just getting started. One more thing, Lawrence added. Lisa's birthday party next week. Don't cancel it. Sometimes the best revenge is served at a celebration. I smiled for the first time that day. I couldn't agree more. Remember when we were kids? Lisa asked, helping me arrange flowers for her party. You always protected me from everything. The roses trembled in my hands as memories flooded back. Me, holding her hand on her first day of school, defending her against bullies, co-signing her first apartment lease. That's what big sisters do, I replied, keeping my voice steady. You're still doing it, she said softly. This party, it's too much. If she only knew how much. My phone buzzed. Lawrence's message lit up the screen. Papers ready. Property transfer complete by midnight tomorrow. Everything okay? Lisa asked, noticing my expression. Perfect, I smiled. Just work stuff. Jesse walked in, carrying more decorations. Ladies, the outdoor lighting is set up. He kissed my cheek, then glanced at Lisa longer than necessary. Looks amazing in here. Reagan did most of it, Lisa said quickly, stepping back from the table. The doorbell rang. Michaela arriving with the custom cake I'd ordered. As I went to answer, I heard them whispering again. This time, I didn't need to strain to hear. We have to tell her, Lisa hissed. Not yet, Jesse replied. After the party, I promise. Michaela caught my expression as I opened the door. You okay? Lawrence called earlier, I said, leading her to the kitchen. Showed me some interesting security footage from the house. Turns out our cameras didn't go completely offline during those Thursday meetings. Oh shit, Michaela whispered. What did you see? Enough. I took the cake from her. The property transfer goes through tomorrow night. Reagan, she grabbed my arm. Are you sure about this? It's your sister. Was my sister, I corrected. Family doesn't do what she did. We walked back to find Jesse and Lisa standing suspiciously far apart. The air felt thick with unspoken words. Beautiful cake, Lisa exclaimed, too brightly, just like the ones Mom used to make. Mom. Another memory hit me. Mom's last words before she died. Take care of your sister, Reagan. Promise me. I need some air, I muttered, heading to the garden. Wallace was there, setting up the bar. Lawrence called me. He said quietly, You don't have to go through with the party. Yes, I do. I watched through the window as Jesse and Lisa pretended to be nothing more than in-laws. They want to play happy families? Let's give them one last celebration. My phone buzzed again. Lawrence confirming the paperwork was ready for signing. Tomorrow at midnight, I texted back. Everything changes. The garden lights flickered on, illuminating the space where in 24 hours, karma would finally catch up with them all. The party was in full swing, champagne flowing as freely as the lies. Lisa twirled in her new designer dress, my gift to her, while Jesse played the perfect host, their secret smiles growing bolder with each passing hour. Speech, someone called out. Reagan, say something about your sister. I rose, champagne glass in hand, feeling the weight of my phone in my pocket. 11:15 p.m., 45 minutes until Lawrence's confirmation. To my dear sister Lisa, I began, watching their faces carefully. You've always known exactly what you want and exactly how to take it. Lisa's smile faltered slightly. You've never been afraid to reach for things that belong to others, I continued, my voice steady, always so confident they'd forgive you. Jesse coughed, tugging at his collar. To Lisa, I raised my glass. May you get everything you deserve. To Lisa, the crowd echoed, oblivious to the tension. Michaela appeared at my side. Lawrence texted. Papers are signed. Good. I checked my phone. 11:30 p.m. Lisa approached, cheeks flushed from wine. That speech, Reagan, I need to tell you something. Not now, Jesse interrupted, appearing suddenly. It's party time. Dance with me, Reagan? I allowed him to lead me to the dance floor, his hands on my waist, feeling like betrayal. "You seem different tonight," he said softly. "Do I?" I checked my phone again. 11:45 p.m. "Reagan," Lisa called out. "Can we talk, please?" 15 minutes, I said, stepping away from Jesse. "Give me 15 minutes to finish hosting duties." I moved through the crowd, accepting congratulations on the beautiful party, watching the minutes tick by. 11:50 p.m., 11:55 p.m. At 11:59, my phone lit up with Lawrence's message. "Transfer complete. Property's yours." Midnight struck. "Everyone," I called out, tapping my glass. The music stopped. "I have one more surprise for the birthday girl." Lisa stepped forward, Jesse hovering anxiously behind her. "First," I said, "I want to thank you both for showing me exactly who you are." Confusion rippled through the crowd. "What do you mean?" Lisa's voice trembled. I pulled out an envelope. "This house, as of midnight, it's solely in my name, and you both have exactly 24 hours to vacate the premises." Gasps filled the room. Jesse stepped forward. "Reagan, what are you talking about?" "Ask Lisa," I said calmly. "Ask her about your Thursday afternoon meetings. Or better yet." I projected the security footage onto the garden wall, Jesse and Lisa entering the house, their betrayal playing out in high definition. "Happy birthday, sis," I said, watching their world crumble. "The party's over." The silence that followed was deafening. "Reagan, please," Jesse stepped forward, hands raised. "We can explain everything." "Explain?" I laughed, the sound sharp enough to make several guests flinch. "Explain how you've been sleeping with my sister for months? In my house?" Lisa burst into tears, mascara running down her face. "It wasn't supposed to happen like this." "No?" I turned to face her. "How is it supposed to happen? Were you going to wait until after I paid for your gallery's expansion? Or maybe after I finished putting you through art school?" The party guests began quietly gathering their belongings, creating a steady stream toward the exits. Only Michaela and Wallace remained, standing like sentinels near the door. "You don't understand," Jesse pleaded. "We were going to tell you." "When?" I projected another image onto the wall, their text messages, dates, times, locations. "After the house renovation I just paid for, or after Lisa's birthday cruise next month?" "Stop it," Lisa screamed. "You're humiliating us." "Humiliating you?" I stepped closer. "Like finding my husband's wedding ring in your studio didn't humiliate me? Like hearing you both laugh about deceiving me didn't destroy me?" Jesse reached for my arm. "Reagan, baby, please." "Don't touch me." I jerked away. "The security team will arrive in 10 minutes. Pack what's yours and get out." "You can't do this." Jesse's voice hardened. "Half this house is mine." "Actually," Wallace stepped forward, holding up a document. "As your witness to the prenup, I can confirm that Reagan's lawyer has already processed the infidelity clause. The house is legally hers." Lisa collapsed into a chair, sobbing. "What about the gallery? My apartment?" "The gallery lease is in my name," I replied coldly, "and I'll be terminating it. As for your apartment, the one I've been paying for, consider this your 30-day notice." "You're destroying everything," Lisa wailed. "No, you did that." I walked to the front door, holding it open. "You both did. Now get out." "Reagan," Jesse tried one last time. 12 years of marriage. Should have meant something to you." I checked my watch. 9 minutes until security arrives. Tick-tock. They moved in a daze, gathering their phones and keys. Lisa paused at the door, tears streaming. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I never meant—" "Save it." I cut her off. "You're not my sister anymore. You're just the woman who slept with my husband." The door closed behind them with a final click. Michaela approached, wrapping an arm around my shoulders. "You okay?" I watched through the window as Jesse and Lisa stood in the driveway, lost and broken. "No," I said honestly, "but I will be." The next morning, Lisa showed up at my office, eyes red and swollen. My assistant tried to stop her, but she pushed past. 5 minutes, she begged. "Please, Reagan." I nodded to my assistant. "Hold my calls." Lisa sank into the chair across from my desk, clutching her purse like a shield. "I've lost everything. The gallery landlord already received your termination notice. My apartment manager called about the lease. Funny how actions have consequences," I said, continuing to type on my laptop. Mom would hate this, she whispered. She'd hate what you're doing. My fingers froze over the keyboard. Don't you dare bring Mom into this. She made you promise to take care of me. And I did. I slammed my laptop shut. I put you through school, funded your dreams, supported every decision you made. You repaid me by sleeping with my husband. I love him, Lisa burst out, then covered her mouth in horror. The office went deadly quiet. Love him? I stood slowly. You love him so much you helped him cheat? You love him so much you betrayed your own sister? It just happened, she sobbed. We didn't plan it. No? The hotel receipts I found suggest otherwise. 6 months of just happening, Lisa? She crumpled further into the chair. Jesse said he was unhappy, that you were always working, always focused on your business. So that justifies it? I leaned across the desk. I was working to build our future, to help you build yours. He's leaving her, a new voice said. Jesse stood in my office doorway. I'm leaving my wife, moving in with Lisa. Ex-wife, I corrected. And how perfect. You can both start fresh without my money supporting you. Reagan, Jesse stepped forward. We never meant to hurt you. Funny thing about intentions, I said, opening my drawer and pulling out a folder. They don't change the outcome. I slid the divorce papers across the desk. Already filed. Your copies. What about forgiveness? Lisa asked quietly. What about family? Family? I laughed bitterly. You destroyed that concept the moment you chose him over me. We can fix this, Jesse insisted. No, I pressed the intercom. Security, please escort these two out. They're no longer welcome in the building. As security arrived, Lisa turned back one last time. I really am sorry, Reagan. I know, I said, watching them being led away. That's what makes it worse. Michaela appeared in the doorway after they left. You okay? I looked at the family photos still on my desk. Me, Lisa, and Mom at my wedding. Slowly, I turned it face down. I will be, I said. Eventually. 3 weeks later, I stood in the empty gallery space that had once been Lisa's dream. The movers had just finished clearing out the last of her artwork. The new tenant signs the lease next week, Lawrence said, reviewing documents on his tablet. The divorce is final, house is secure, you've got a clean break. Not quite. I turned as the gallery door chimed, right on time. Jesse and Lisa walked in, holding hands, looking shabby compared to their usual polished appearance. Amazing what a few weeks without my financial support had done. Thanks for meeting us, Jesse said. We wanted to talk about a settlement. A settlement? I raised an eyebrow. The divorce is final. The house is mine. What's left to settle? Lisa stepped forward. The gallery inventory, my artwork, it's worth... Nothing, I interrupted. It's worth nothing without the connections I provided, the clients I brought in, the reputation I built for you. You can't just take everything. Jesse's facade cracked. We're struggling here, Reagan. Lisa's living in my studio apartment. We can barely make rent. Karma's interesting that way, I said, leaning against the empty reception desk. You took what wasn't yours. Now you're losing what was. Please, Lisa whispered. Just some startup money. A small loan. Like the loan you already owed me for art school? The one you promised to repay? Jesse's face reddened. You're being vindictive. No, I straightened up. I'm being fair. You made your choices. Now you get to live with them. What about Mom's inheritance? Lisa tried. Half of that was supposed to be mine. You mean the inheritance I invested in your gallery? The one you used to fund your affair? Their silence was answer enough. Here's what's going to happen, I continued. You're going to leave. You're going to build your new life together, without my money, my connections, or my help. And you're going to remember, every time things get hard, that you chose this. Reagan, Lisa's voice broke. I have one question, I said, holding up my hand. Was it worth it? They looked at each other, their expressions saying everything their words couldn't. Get out, I said quietly, and don't come back. They left, shoulders slumped, the door chiming behind them. Through the window, I watched them walk away, no longer the confident couple they'd been a month ago. That's the last of it, Lawrence said, handing me the final paperwork. Ready to go? I took one last look around the empty gallery, the space that had once represented my sister's dreams and my trust. Yes, I said, turning off the lights. I'm ready. The door locked with a final click, echoing through the empty space like the end of a chapter. You've turned the gallery into a women's business incubator? Michaela walked through the renovated space, admiring the new layout. That's perfect, actually. I adjusted the sign on the wall. Second Chances, Women's Enterprise Hub. Seemed fitting, I said, taking something broken and making it stronger. Wallace entered, carrying coffee. First applications are already coming in. 3 women leaving bad marriages, wanting to start their own businesses. Speaking of which, Michaela handed me a newspaper. Saw this in the local business section. There it was, a small article about Lisa's failed gallery, now operating out of a garage in the bad part of town. Jesse's name appeared too, mentioned as her struggling artist husband. Does it make you happy? Wallace asked carefully. Seeing them fail? No, I said, putting the paper down. But watching them face real consequences? That feels right. The door chimed. A young woman entered, clutching a portfolio. I'm here about the incubator program, she said nervously. My husband took everything in the divorce, but I have this business plan. Come in, I smiled, gesturing to the conference room. Tell me about your dream. As I listened to her pitch, I noticed my wedding ring was still on my desk where I'd finally taken it off. I slipped it into my drawer, focusing instead on the woman's passionate presentation. I know it's a risk, she finished, but I have to try. Risk is essential for growth, I said, thinking of my own journey. But so is having the right support system. My phone buzzed, a text from Lisa. Miss you. Sorry for everything. Please call. I deleted it without responding. Some bridges, once burned, should stay ashes. So, I turned back to the aspiring entrepreneur. Let's talk about making your dream reality. Michaela and Wallace exchanged knowing looks as they watched me work. This was my new purpose, helping others rebuild just as I had. One more thing, I told the woman as we wrapped up. Success isn't just about proving others wrong. It's about proving yourself right. She nodded, eyes bright with determination. I understand. After she left, I stood at the window, watching the sunset paint the city gold. The empty frame where Lisa's sign once hung now displayed my own. Rise stronger. Ready to head home? Michaela asked. Actually, I smiled, picking up another application. I think I'll stay a bit longer. There's work to be done. The light caught my empty ring finger as I reached for my pen. Some endings were really beginnings in disguise.